Howdy tubers, welcome back to the Zyclops. So this is tool review day number 2, or actually more like tool repair day, I guess. For those of you who didn't see the previous video, a month and a half or 2.5 months ago, I spent like $1,500 or $1,600 on a bunch of Milwaukee tools. The air compressor has already quit. It's got a fatal flaw. There's a full review about what's up with it. And the grease gun quit. So I called Milwaukee. I bought the grease gun and this 3/4 inch drive impact off Amazon. I called Milwaukee. I said, hey, my grease gun quit. They said, oh, we don't warranty anything that you buy from Amazon. And I said, what the heck's up with that? It doesn't say that anywhere I could find. I mean, it may be in some, buried somewhere in a term condition or terms of, sale or something. I don't know, but anyway, they told me to screw myself. I could send it in and pay them to fix it, but I'm not going to give them any more money. I'm really pissed off about this whole deal. I'm going to take it apart so I can fix it. I'm hoping that it's got a standard brushed motor. I'm pretty sure I can see a commutator in there. And if it is, I can take it apart, and even if I put some big ugly light switch on top of it, I can just hook battery power directly to the motor and make this thing work. It's not nearly as complicated as a variable speed drill. Let's bench it over here and scatter it. Let's get us some juice over here and see what there can be seen. The motor definitely runs. Oh, I believe it's in this board. I can see it. Looks like maybe a drop of moisture. Huh. See if we can just eliminate all that. So what I'm going to do is just eliminate all the circuitry in this. It doesn't need it since this is not a 3-phase motor. If it was brushless, it would require a VFD or an inverter to make it run. But the only thing it needs is just the power. So what this little board did is it had an LED light on it, but it had a potentiometer here, or not a potentiometer, but a switch. And you could select how many ounces of grease you want to pump. So when you pull the trigger, it up till it pumped, 8 or 10 or 15 or 20 ounces of grease, and it would go off. And when you pull the trigger again, it would take back off. I don't need that. I just pump until grease comes out of something. But let's look at this board. This is another typical Milwaukee screw up, I think. This board is perfectly clean. It does not look like there's no coating on it or anything, and it looks like it's probably got a single drop of water right there, and that water has just corroded and blown up a couple of resistors right there. This would be easy to eliminate. It's just cheap manufacturing. Pretty junky for as expensive as it was. It's kind of mind-blowing. So I kind of screwed up and got you out of frame here. You couldn't see what happened. But basically, I just unsoldered the wire that came originally from the board and went to the switch, and then cut and resoldered the wire to the switch that comes directly from the battery. It's the positive and then the negative wires that both went up to the board. I just cut and soldered together. They're just off camera. And tucked them in. So basically that's all it is now. It's just got a negative wire that goes to the motor. The positive wire comes from the battery connector to the switch and then to the motor. Pull the trigger, it's going to run, and that way we eliminated all the electronics. And this should be pretty much submergible now. Not that I really got it wet to begin with, but a little bit of moisture shouldn't hurt it now, perhaps other than the battery. And if it does get rained on at some point and the battery blown up, you can just get another battery. This was expensive, and it should last a long time, and this will eliminate any electronic problems that I might have with it. I don't see anything else here to do. I didn't insulate that wire. I think it'll be fine. if somehow these two short together, the BMS and the battery will work as a overcurrent protection. All right, that's it. All right, so I guess that's it. This thing will still work fine for me. It's a shame Milwaukee puts out a tool that you have to use in a sterile and dry environment, no humidity. I mean, I realize that there are probably factories that exist, but in the real world, things need to be able to be used around moisture. Not to say you need to submerge them or drop them in a mud hole, but you know, you need to be able to walk outside if there's a light sprinkle and use a tool, an impact wrench or anything else. You know, it's a shame the stuff they put out. Another thing I don't like about this, I want to kind of show here, you know, I go through tons of grease. One of these barrels will last me a year or two, maybe. I bulk load all my grease guns. I've got this one and I've got 3 more all-might high volume hand pump grease guns, which, to be honest, I can really pump a tube of grease with them almost as fast as I can with this. So I've got this pump that goes in this barrel, and it's some kind of Chinese off-brand. It doesn't use the standard nipples. You got to put a different nipple in here, and basically you just take this nipple and stick it in this little quick coupling, and you can fill your grease gun up. Now, one of the things that I hate about this Milwaukee grease gun is that the grease leaks by the little spring-loaded plunger. And so if you let this sit for a few days or a week, you go to pull this thing back to put a tube of grease in it or fill it up here, it sprays grease out at you. Now, I wanted to show you this. Of course, it's already full because I hadn't used it. But you do that, and it just makes the biggest mess everywhere, and you waste a bunch of grease. So I hate to spend 2 episodes harping on Milwaukee, but that's what I did, what I'm going to do. I really think this stuff is subpar equipment, and it's really expensive. I think it's, in a lot of ways, not as good as my Ryobi stuff. It's stouter, it's faster, some of it's more powerful, but it's not nearly, I don't know. It's hard, whatever. I'm not gonna go there. Junk. I know y'all want oil field videos. I've just been so busy trying to catch up after my little vacation, and I want to try to get another vacation in this year. I just hadn't had time to pick a camera up. I'll get back to that. I know they say if you're going to have a YouTube channel, you need to keep everything consistent, and I understand why. But that's just not where I'm at today. I got to go grease some stuff. I'll catch you next time.